Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. Well,
Wow,
it's a,
Jakey, fucking.
yeah,
Whew.
it's a
Professional.
sad day. Mac and I have been waiting for Aprilia to have a real strong rider, an alien rider for God. We've been talking about it for 2 years, and then what does he do? He comes out in the 12th lap and crashes.
Damn.
Well, firstly, now, right, okay. Jorge Martin did crash. Jake, I can honestly reckon you were doing a testing week as well in front of the mirror, practicing that opening. Going, it's like I don't think you've ever nailed it as a. I think Joe, like fair play to you. You definitely did some amount of laps to get that right, kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dialed
Hat
in.
off to you. Yeah.
I say it in my sleep.
It's
Excellent.
going to be written on your gravestone.
Welcome to MotoGP fan.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I suppose shock, horror, drama for Aprilia straight out of the box. Number one rider throws himself out the front door. Do you know what I mean? Launches himself, or whatever you want to call it. When I saw the crash, I actually thought that he was knocked the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he did not move for nigh on 20 odd seconds after that crash, you know. And to me, I'll put my hands up and I'll say, and in yesterday's video, which is tomorrow's video, because we're shooting this on Saturday, I did say, for me, all day long, it was a cold tire crash. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't care what anyone says. He had a warning already that morning with the medium tire, and he didn't listen to it.
Yeah,
Now,
it was a little shaky going into that. I mean, a couple corners before you could see it.
But you could see it, like when he was on, before he lost it on the right hand side of the tire, he was losing it on the left, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the tire was already cold. Now, Pecco did say it about the medium tires. You know, on day one of testing, he did very, very limited running. He's like, he didn't like the medium tire. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit too hard, apparently. But what I found, and I still find very interesting, was that Rivola came out straight after the crash happened and was like, well, there's nothing wrong with the bike. There was nothing with the electronics. You know what I mean? Had to be the tires. Now, realistically, in my view, there was no need to make up an excuse. There was no. You know, you were only pissing in the wind really by making up an excuse for it. Like, you know, and of course, then
he said, you know, riders crash. These things happen to everybody, no matter how good you are.
It's not even that. Like, it's like, it was fairly self-explanatory what happened. You know what I mean? He threw himself out the front door, you know, in dramatic style, and he was coming out of the pits, or so he was early in the stages of it, and he looped it, right? And at the end of the day, Aprilia didn't, in my view, didn't need to come out and say what they said, because whatchamacallit came back, and Michelin then came back and said to them, well, it was a cold tire. You know what I mean? It was technically, it was rider error, right? The tire was 15 degrees lower in temperature than what it should have been. Did you know what I mean?
He didn't want to blame Jorge. He didn't want to say he made a mistake.
But they weren't, just so people understand, they weren't talking about tire surface temperature. They're talking about tire core temperature. Okay. Okay, so there's a very, very big difference there. And basically, Aprilia came back at them again and were like, no, that's not true. That's not correct. We've looked at the data. So your data doesn't line up to our data. Now, I find that incredibly weird, because the tire pressure and the tire temperature sensors and all of this are stock from McLaren. So if they're wrong for between Michelin and Aprilia, then they're probably wrong for the FIM.
Okay. They all run the same sensors, or they're all
stock sensors in the wheels. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The only ones that are not are the ones that you see them in the mudguard, and they're the ones then for the tire surface temperature.
Oh, okay.
not the core tire temperature. So look, I find it very interesting that they felt they needed to react to it. It was a crash. It happened. It was a mistake. You know, he got a very ample warning already, and he didn't listen to it. Is that a little bit of overcockiness or overzealous? Probably. You know, but these things happen to everyone. Like every single one of us have had a high side or a near high side moment because we were acting the bollocks. These things happen, you know, and I get it. I get what Marquez said. But like everyone acts the bollocks on bikes. Look at Fabio Di Gianantonio, another prize example of dickhead, right? Like what a Langer moment of what we know. Langer was what we call a dickhead in Ireland, right? Okay. But it's not meant as an offensive thing. Like you would turn around and call someone a Langer, he wouldn't punch the head off you. You know what I mean? But you know, he was doing a practice start, did a wheelie, crashed, and broke his fucking collarbone. Like, what sort of Langer are you? You know what I mean? So he's in a race, but again, you know, VR46 came out and they were like, well, wheelie is a part of MotoGP riders' thing. Do you know what I mean? They do a wheelie, they show off to their fans. Sometimes it goes wrong. They weren't like, you know, oh, something went wrong with the bike.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or the Brembo brake fucking locked on when he dropped it down.
He just pulled a bonehead move. Yeah.
He made a mistake. That was it. It's part of life. But I suppose one of the things that we need to talk about is this thing that it seems to be breaking the internet at the moment is the sprint simulation between Mark and Pecco, where Mark was 0.4 of a second on average faster on average time. Okay. And I will say, yes, he was faster, but at two different times in the day.
Yeah.
Right. That's the little bit that people are leaving out. Pecco did his about an hour and a half before Mark did his.
And you don't even know where Pecco was in setup versus.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. But so I did go through Pecco's times because I was finding it interesting. Pecco never really went for it. Like he went for one or two fast laps, but he never really went into what I would class as a racing. Like we know if Pecco can get into the 57s, which he did a number of times during this test, he can run them all day long. He is that sort of rider that he can go between 2 and 3/10 of a second. What you're looking at in these sprint simulations, and I'll just name off one of them there, right? He did a 57.84, 57.82. All of a sudden, he did a 58.1, 58.3. That's not Pecco. Jordan, that's not how this guy rides. Like,
or he would get faster.
No, it would fluctuate by 0.1, 0.2. Do you know what I mean? Either way, but he wouldn't like, if you look at it, he did a 57.84, right? And he did 3 laps later, he did a 58.36. That's 0.6 of a second. There's no way on earth if he's doing a fucking hot on simulated lap, he ain't going to be 0.6 of a second off.
I saw that too because I was watching the timing and I'm going, first off, it looked like he wasn't trying. So to the point where I thought, did he crash? Like he's not even there. Where are these guys? A lot of people didn't ride.
Exactly.
That thing was empty.
I look like no. So the other part of it, right, is that people are comparing Pecco and Mark, right? Alex has far fucking better pace on the 24 than they do.
Yeah,
far better pace. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, stop looking at fucking Mark. It's the other fella that has the pace right now. And of course, the 24 on similar tires, everyone has the setup.
Yeah.
They're quick, right? And it shows now the difference between the GP23 and the GP24. What is the real difference? Anyone that was on a GP22 is automatically feeling good on the GP24, whereas when they were on the GP23, people couldn't get their head around it. Alex Marquez couldn't get his head around the GP23, and then now he's topping the fucking times, or he's towards the pointy end.
I don't know why people aren't getting their head around it, for the fact that it's this program has worked for the last 2 years, but they've been doing it the same way. It's been last year bike has always been it's been set up so they get off right away. They get off on the last year's bike better, okay, and then they work into the new bike. It's been the same way. The same thing with Yamaha and Honda when their first runs are always great. So I hold reservations, as much as Quartararo is my favorite rider. I hold reservations how good the Yamaha is yet.
Yeah, and look, we'll talk about the Yamaha, the Yams and the Hondas in a minute. But like for me, the Ducatis, it looks very ominous, right? Like you look at Alex Marquez had good pace, but Pecco and Mark are very, very close to him, right? On a bike that's not sorted yet.
No, not even not sorted. They're choosing between a big decision between the engines because they were to hold it for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's
extra special sure that's the right one.
Like, yeah, exactly. And I don't think we actually seen a very angry lap yet from
anybody.
The lads on the Ducati. I think we've seen it from the guys on the 24 bikes, but I don't think we've seen it from Mark and Pecco yet. I think I think you're right. They're still evaluating the engine. I do understand that Pecco was switching frames in and out. So we had, for example, the 2025 engine, but with the 2024 frame. Because obviously it's a great data source, right? They know what the 2024 frame did around Sepang, right? Now they're able to understand the 2025 engine in that 2024 frame. So it is really, really interesting to see. I still believe they were going to probably use the last day in Buriram. I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see an all-out Banzai lap from one of them. Because look, it's the end of the test. They need to make headlines for the next 2 weeks. And they have to have their decision. Do you know what I mean? It's great to have a bike that the engine's good and this, that, and the other, but if they can't work on that place either, you know, they're going to be in trouble for the season. So I think we're in a couple of days' time, we're going to see the bike again transformed, I suppose, into what it is or what it's going to be for the season. The engine obviously has to be tied down as well. It's really important.
The last day was between they finished up that it was Pecco and Alex within.
Pecco, Alex, yeah. And look, I suppose with that going into Yamaha, I think Yamaha have had a really positive test.
Mm-hmm. I don't know yet. No, they always do that every year. They look great.
Yeah, well, look, if Jack Miller can get on the bike and be somewhere near the top 10, they're kind of saying, okay, look, things are a little bit.
That's the only difference. I think
that says a lot.
It does, and I'm not shitting on Jack either, but I'm just saying,
it sounds like
you know, he can get off the V4, get onto the M1, and immediately have pace and be comfortable. And Miguel Oliveira said that like they're fairly comfortable. Now, it's great to be comfortable on a bike. You need to be fast. But saying that, you know, they seem to have adapted well. The bike is good. You do see the difference between what Fabio is and like the point that we were talking about last week. So like Fabio is a cut above the other riders. Do you know what I mean? Right. So
he's always going to be faster. Typically,
he's always going to be faster. Yeah, you would expect him to be leading the way with him. But you know, it's good to see them, and I think if they continue along the development line that they are doing, I think they'll be all right. Will they close the gap? Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know, because they're in the kind of development stage of they're either near their next great invention or else they're near the greatest fuck up yet. Do you know what I mean? And it's a knife edge of where they're going, because they're definitely in a zone of they're going the right way, but they could still just take a wrong turn. So, but look, it was very positive. I was very happy as a Yamaha fan to see the Yamahas towards the pointy end finally.
You know what? It shows human nature, though. I was going to say this. Right from the get-go, I said, Yamaha's going to do better than Honda. And they said, no, well, how did you say that? You're so confident. I said, because Yamaha genuinely wants to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. Okay? They want to do it. They want to get in there. They want to hire the European engineers. They want to get it done. Where Honda is going, you know what? Dorn is going to pull our shit out of the sling. They're waiting for that. You can see it, where it's like, no, don't wait for somebody to pull your ass out of a sling. Do it yourself,
Well, you see, yeah, but I see that sling is not coming because of the 2027 regs, right?
So, I think the 2027 regs they're counting on it.
No, and the reason I say this is that if you don't understand now, you're not going to understand in 2 years' time unless you fix the problem. And what Honda have made,
it's such a different animal,
but they clearly don't understand the fundamental of the aerodynamics in the bike, how to build a package together, how to test on a race weekend, even. Like you look at it, tires. You look at this tires, yeah. You look at the test, right? Mm-hmm. There were multiple pictures of European manufacturer bikes out there in raw 3D carbon print or raw 3D printed parts on it, and they were running them, right? Mm-hmm. You even saw the KTM with fucking duct tape, on the fucking side of it to hold, ensuring a screwed on part that the screws don't come out of it. That for me is testing. That for me is why the European manufacturers are ahead, because they're brave. They're taking the risk. They're taking the chance. Fuck it, if it falls off, well then we'll put another screw into it. And that's the whole point of it for me. Like Honda, you look at the back of the Honda, for example. Look at the wing, right? The double tiered wing. That is a Formula One wing, just reduced down.
Yeah.
Right. Just go look at a Formula One rear wing, right? Never mind the little Stegosaurus things on the side of it, right? Yeah. Look at the rear wing, right? It's fucking Formula One. It's how'd you go faster? You put a wing on the back. There, okay. What does a Formula One car look like? That's the wing on the back of it. Anyway, but my point is now, of course, they're getting braver, right? They've started to take off the rear aero, but still. In my point of view, is that like Yamaha, they're progressing, but they're a second and a bit behind, right? The last 4 tenths are going to be the fucking hardest ones now to do. Yeah. So they've taken a good jump. Honda's still like Mir. It's actually the first time I saw Mir get off the Honda smiling.
It's because it didn't kill him.
It didn't kill him, yeah. Well, there is that, to be fair. But again, it was just for me.
All kidding aside, I thought he came off with a smile and then went back and then he got pissed off again.
No, he was quite upbeat after the test. Like I went through some of the media debriefs that he had. And he seemed, the language that he was using was not the same old language. Like, we need to fucking sort this shit out. And he was a lot more positive, and you could see it in the times and the rankings. And I get it; it's only testing, but like even last year, we didn't see Honda towards the front. Do you know what I mean? And we kind of saw a couple of days that they were hanging in there, and
at least they were sixth. Okay,
mm-hmm.
On a bonsai lap.
Yeah, but look. normally they couldn't even get anywhere fucking near it. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Even on a bonsai lap, do you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
With two fellas pushing them as well. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? They couldn't get near it. So look, I think there's an awful lot of positive stuff happening at Honda, at Yamaha. KTM, like Acosta has come out and said, I never had lost faith in KTM, and you'll see this, that, and the other. No one said KTM won't develop for 25 and 26 because they've, it's 27 is the problem. And they're saying, okay, we have the stuff for 2027. We've started. Look, it's not the 28th of February yet. Nothing is signed off in their financial future. Do you know what I mean? Yes, they have potential investors and all of this stuff. And I tend to think of this like crypto. Yeah, everyone is interested in buying it until they realize that they could lose money, and then they fucking opt out, right? So, yeah,
until they have some meat in the game, or you know what I mean.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I am with it. I was worried and I still am quite worried about Bastianini on the KTM, maybe Mav too, because they're both front end riders, and the KTM doesn't have a great front end. Okay, I know last year the back end was the vibrations were the problem, and they put a solid box on it to try and drown that out. But saying that, you know, the front end of it, we saw it with Acosta, is quite nervous when you push it. And if they push it and they rely on the front end, you know, I think they're just not going to have the confidence to push it as far as they want to.
Yep. I was gonna say that Maverick and Anea would be good. A good contribution to the team as far as data and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. They're so inconsistent. You don't know if their data is actually usable, I guess.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think they will be great contributors to the team if they go fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they turn around and do a mere and they're a second off the pace, then that's not fast enough. So that data is more reliability data rather than race data. Do you know what I mean? So I think it will be interesting to see. And before anyone starts shitting on me, I do like both riders, and I'm not shitting on them. I'm just stating a fact of, you know, you could even see it on some of the clips, show that they weren't comfortable pushing the bike. Just saying # don't hate what is actual fact.
Yeah. CB, what do you think of Fabio? This chances this year. I know I'm calling it early.
Yeah, he calling it really early. I was gonna say I don't believe was it Massimo? I forget his name. But I didn't believe anything he said. I guess the technical director. They're so nonchalant. They don't give you like a real answer. They're just kind of like in the middle somewhere. But I mean, it's good to see him top 3. I thought he was going to be maybe where Alex Rins is right now, but I guess the top 10. But I don't believe it until it's in a race. That's what I think. So,
well, yeah, but it does look better than last year. It actually does. Like, for the same reason that the Honda looks better, because they have at least they have some people up in the front. They didn't have everybody, 15th, 18th,
That's promising. That's actually I actually like to see Honda like Japanese the bikes in the top 10. So that's kind of more entertaining to me than just seeing the front 8 riders all Ducatis. That's like so,
I don't care as long as it's good racing, honestly. And I'm big on you pull yourself by your own bootstraps. As long as they get up there by their own merit. I don't want to see them getting up there because somebody hurt. Somebody banned this and banned that and all that kind of bullshit.
But no, so I'm just going to give you some facts, though, right? Let's go. Fabio Quartararo's fastest lap time this year was 1 minute 56.724. All right, which is he's gone 8.6 tenths of a second faster versus Sepang 2024.
There you go.
Okay.
Johan Zarco, 157.204. 0.7 of a second faster versus 2024. And wait for this one. This one out, fall off your fucking seat. Joan Mir, 157.279. 1.3 seconds faster than he went in Sepang 2024.
That's good and bad.
Yeah, that's a mixed bag of tricks, isn't it?
Yeah, but look, on average, right?
I always thought he loved Sepang.
Yeah, but he went faster.
Yeah, but I mean, why such a slow race the first one?
There you go. That's how much of a biggest pile of shit the Honda was last year. You know, and that's what I'm saying is like, if they were 1.2, 1.3 seconds last year off the Ducatis, they could be within 6-7 of a second now this year. Like you would expect the GP25 to pull 2 or 3 tenths of a second onto what they did last year, right? So, you know.
I'm sorry. I keep having this vision in my head of Gigi in the back room with Pecco going, "Hey, you think we should really shake him up and take the governor off?" You know?
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I think they always. I feel like Pecco always has like half a second. Yeah, like half of a second that he just kind of keeps in his back pocket for the race.
Yeah, and now Jack Miller has come out and said, "Listen, the two Ducati boys, they're fucking sandbagging. Like, they're nowhere near their limit. Like, and I love Jack for that, right? Because like, but, and I tend to believe him. I don't think Pecco and Mark are anywhere near.
No,
it's weird.
Why would they do that? They wouldn't show you how really fast they are because that's just
yeah. And blow their load too early.
What's that, Jake?
How can I put this? I can't see why you wouldn't. It throws me off. That's what it's like. It throws me off. Like a week ago, they were saying that the 25 was so much better than the 24, and then you come to the test and it's roughly 1/2 dozen of the other. Yeah. So what's up? You know,
turn it down.
You know what I mean? Remember they were saying, "Oh, this 25 is so much better than the 24." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And you took that with okay, maybe they made big gains or whatever. Then they come to the test and it's like, where is it?
You turn it down. We can't show you that. We just
but why? What's the point of turning it down? What's the point of turning it?
No. But I think kind of what Jack Miller is saying is that we haven't seen the full potential yet of the GP25. The lads are sandbagging, focusing. They're testing. They're not going for the glory laps. And I think that's what he was kind of saying. And Mark has come out and said, "Oh, well, if you have a GP24 this year, you can actually win the championship, right?" And like, I'm like, will you fucking shut up? Like, do you know what I mean? You've had 3 days on GP25 of that. You're 95% of that is what you're going to race. Do you know what I mean? This year, you know, there's still more to come. There's still more to development. Like, it's not going to.
Yeah, I don't think they showed all their cards yet. No.
But I have to give it to Yamaha and Honda. They have improved and they have made.
Now, how much did they show is a question.
Oh, listen, they were balls to the wall. Absolute balls to the wall.
I think so.
Oh, 100%.
You think they were a real PR? That was PR.
Yeah, that was PR. Yeah, like that's their positive news story for 2025. Like,
did everything but push. Get out and push inside.
I was gonna say you can tell, right? Can you tell when you watch their lines and all that? If the bike is moving around,
you can, but the problem is Dorna dickheads wouldn't show any live coverage.
I know.
That's true. I forgot. That's true.
Yeah, they showed me timing, and you know what timing showed me?
And like I'm reading some of the comments from the tests, and someone puts in there this, and I think it's Jack something. Aprilia was good for the time attack mode because it has a very powerful engine, but it all takes its toll on the tires. Electronics are their main problem of the RSGP. It has too much power in low gear, wheelies, spins the tires, really low rear grip. I think that's most of the problem arises from the engine output management. Wrong.
How do they know that? How are they saying all of that?
Well, no, this is something that some fella put in the comment today.
Yeah,
So the Aprilia actually has the least. Well, not the least. Yamaha has the least horsepower, but the Aprilia actually has one of the least. They are the ones that have always been asking to be working on their engines.
Yeah.
The only reason the Aprilia are good at a time attack is when they can run the lines they want to run. So when they go on the track on their own, when no one's in front of them, dog fighting, they can take the long arcing lines, not as long as the inline four needs, but the way they have it.
It's a handling bike.
It is, but it's not a dogfight bike. It can dogfight occasionally, but it's not a dogfight bike. And the engine is definitely not strong in the Aprilia. It is definitely not strong, and that's a well-known fact.
I thought it was the weakest in the Europeans, but it was stronger than the Yamaha and the.
No, the Honda's okay. It's
they thought the Honda was the weakest.
No, Honda's not the weakest.
Somebody said it. I think it was who's riding the Honda said this is the weakest bike out there. Rins?
Yeah. Well, look, Rins was fighting with Honda anyway, right? So I wouldn't take that. But
take it with a salt.
Why it looked like Honda's engine was slow is because they threw a fucking Formula One fucking rear wing on it and probably front wings and
it was stuck.
They put a load of aero on it that they didn't fucking understand. And the poor engine they couldn't cope, and
flat.
But in the speed traps the Honda's been okay, but again, Aprilia have been known for having the not, I won't call it the weakest, but it's definitely not the highest performing engine out there. And their problems don't come off the engine. Like last year's problems was mostly, and the year before, was that fact that they were cooking the rider. The one thing that can actually fucking overheat, they were cooking them. Bezzecchi said that's gone. A long time. Yeah, Bezzecchi said that's gone. Now, it was cooler temperatures in Sepang this year, so let's wait and see.
The dumbest move they did was having vote for the engine freeze. That was the dumbest thing. I guess that maybe.
Well, no. Remember, Jake, and I really need you to understand this. They had originally voted for it, and then they changed their mind. But when they changed their mind, it was 4-1, so they were outvoted. Because originally Honda and Yamaha voted no, and then they were like, "Well, you have concessions, so you can develop anyway, so it doesn't affect you." And they're like, "All right, so."
I love those concessions. Yeah, it was uneven concessions.
But remember this now, Jakey Poo. At the start of 2027, everyone calls you Jakey Poo.
Somebody looks like you call me Jakey Poo. You know
Jakey what I mean? Poo. Yeah. Everyone calls you Jakey Poo. I actually got an email today from some guy asking to come on the show, and I swear to God, I'm going to read it. Going to read it out now live. It's from Alexander. Hey Mac, I would love to join you and Jakey Poo on the podcast.
Oh man.
Now, unfortunately, it did come in last night, but I only got it about 20 minutes ago, and we'd already arranged the podcast. So, but we will do a podcast with you, and we will get John back on with his who had internet trouble last week. But yeah,
as long as you're not a Honda fanboy, we burn that steak.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about as well is there is a load of great stuff coming out about Pecco and Mark being best friends, and their wives and girlfriends and all, and they're all eating lunch, and they're all friendly and everything's cordial, and that it's going to be the great season ever because everyone in Ducati likes each other and gets on with each other and whatever. And I just read this, and I'm like, yeah, but one of them's going to punch each other at some point on the racetrack, and then it's over. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, fuck off, right? And like, one of the things that we learned from,
I don't know if they'll punch each other because I haven't seen.
Well, no,
You want to see it?
Like I say that
that
literal terms, in Irish terms, like rub it up against each other. That's how the argument starts. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily need to be a punch, but normally an Irish person's reaction is if someone rubs up against you, you give them a punch.
It's like a redneck. Rednecks do
that.
Yeah. Rednecks will talk to each other to death and call each other names, and they won't fight. You know what I mean?
Oh no, but we'll fight.
You belt him. You ever belt a redneck, and they're like, "What'd you do that for?" And he's like laid out in the pavement. And you're like, "You knocked out my buddy." Well, open his freaking mouth. What do you want?
Exactly.
What'd you expect?
I think it's only a matter of time before these two, and like Pecco even said it, like, you know, when it comes down to,
what did he say?
He's not. Well, yeah, you're not scared of him. But I don't think any rider anymore is scared of Mark.
Oh yeah,
he's 5 foot nothing.
Huh?
He's 5 foot nothing.
But he doesn't have that raw speed. I mean,
but even on the track, like you remember when Rossi was racing Marquez towards the end of his career, he would fucking get off he'd run wide so that Mark could pass. He was scared to fight him on track. None of these boys are scared of Marquez anymore in that way, right?
I think somewhere along the line it's been passed down that if Marquez does this again, I think FIM has had enough of him. They're saying
that's the other thing, right? Our buddy Simon Crafar, he won't take that shit off Mark.
No, he won't. I mean?
He won't, and I think it's great. This is one of the great things that we have him in there is that, like, he genuinely knows.
You're saying he won't take, like, as far as like the towing or like the antics?
He don't like bash passing, and I don't think he likes towing either. He does not.
We're going to see a bash this year.
Oh yeah, listen, they're listen. They're two fucking alpha males inside in the thing who both believe they are the best in the world at what they do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they are, but
it doesn't matter whether they are or whether they're not. Right. They both believe the exact same thing, and they both believe they're going to win the championship.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Right. Last corner, last lap, they're having a go. And if it ends up in contact, I can guarantee you they're having a fight. You know what I mean? And then you can be guaranteed that a solid, concrete, reinforced wall will be built inside in that garage, regardless of what GG or fucking anyone says. And I mean, that wall will be prison grade, right? Not just like, like a solid concrete wall. This would be prison grade. You can fucking dig and drill and whatever to that wall. It ain't coming down, right? And Duke had.
I could stop them. I could stop either one of them or both of them. I just pick the little bastards up by the scruff of their necks. You know what I mean? They say, stop, shake them, stop.
You have the picture like,
you go like this at each other, they can't touch you.
Yeah, well, I say Pecco could, though. Pecco has a bit of the reach. Like,
I was going to say,
he has the reach and the height advantage. But no, look, I the PR stories that Caddy are putting out about it, though, is it's just kind of laughable. Do you know what I mean? Of course, they're getting on. It's nothing has happened between them in the track yet this year. Do you know what I mean? And they are both on a warning, I would say, to be nice. But as soon as they both find their feet this year, like if Mark comes out and blitzes Pecco first 5 or 6 races, Pecco will be like a bastard, but Pecco will be put into his natural place then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pecco comes out and beats Mark. Mark will be put into his kind of natural place. But if they come out and
Pecco puts Mark down in his first 5 races, you're saying, no, identical situation.
What I mean is, like, if first 5 or 6 races, Mark beats Pecco. Pecco is solid number 2 for the rest of the season. Right. Mark is the championship leader. Do you know what I mean? Other way around, Pecco does it. Where the problem comes in, though, is if they're tit for tat, right? Yeah, so Pecco wins the first, Mark wins the second, Pecco wins the third, Mark wins, and there's fucking nothing between them. That's when the fighting will start. That's when, why does he get that new part and I'm not getting that new part? And GG, you're sitting in his seat and not in my seat.
GG and Teradasi. Is it Teradasi?
Yeah. And Tarlazzi and
I'll have to put that chair in the back and have that music.
they're just going to have to get Gigi a fucking seat that sits in the middle. That's the answer. Do you know what I mean? And then they'd have, and then the two riders will have to come to him. But no, look, I think it's going to be highly entertaining between the two. I'm fascinated. Like I'm looking back, like it's a similar thing for me. And I'll say this before the start of the season. I actually don't care who wins the championship as long as we have a great fucking fight between someone.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what you want.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like
you want it to be a boxing match. You know that.
I do, but like a little argument never hurt anyone, except maybe the fellow who lost the argument. But you know, his pride or his teeth or whatever got hurt, right? But I think for me, you know, this season is shaping up. Like, looked at some of the test times there, and that like majority of the fields, regular riders were 0.8 of a second of each other. Yeah. You know, it looks like we're going to have a good season, even if, and again, like I don't like to see, and I call this out about World Superbikes, right? I don't like to see one bike manufacturer dominating everything and one rider winning a 20-lap race by 40 seconds. It doesn't interest me.
Why I don't like concessions is it works out better if they just let it follow its own trend and let them copy, and then it ends up the one copies off the other.
I'm not discarding that, but my point is, Jake, is that if Mark and Pecco are out in front, at least there's two of them giving each other shit.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It will be entertaining.
That's better.
Like they're like I'll be very honest. There was nothing enthusiastic about Bautista 20 seconds ahead of everyone else on his own, and you're kind of like starting the race, and you're like, I mean, even last year with
take a nap,
top back, and you're like, Jesus, I wonder who's going to finish second.
Yeah, you did.
Because I watch racing to see who's going to finish second. Do you know what I mean? And let's be fair, and every motorcycle enthusiast is there to watch a race, right? Not a battle for second,
right?
You know, and
I felt like that when Marquez was in Aragon, and it was nice to see him in front, but it was boring. He was way ahead. I mean, what else is there to watch? Second place, third place? I don't really
exactly. Look,
and the cameras won't push back to second place,
and then we can't even see it. Yeah, the cameras won't even show the bottom 10 or even anything below.
I want to see the races. I want to see somebody battling.
The camera is on Marquez the whole time, and he's 14 seconds ahead. I mean,
right? That's like the cameras that go with a rider. If you have it on there too long, it becomes boring as hell. If you have it, all you see, it's like taking a ride on a bike. It's like I can see this if I jump on my bike.
And this is where I genuinely believe, Jake, where Liberty can help with this, right? Because Liberty do in Formula One give you so much access to go on board with your favorite driver. Go watch what's called the battle channel. So it's picking up battles throughout the field. And down in the corner would have the live feed.
Yeah.
But then you'll be watching like anyone that's making a pass or near misses, or you know what I mean. And that to me, I think
this like Moto America did it, where they had everybody on the shoulder cam, they called it, or elbow cam, to the point where I was writing them in. And I was so pissed off. I went, I can't see who's passing who. I don't know what's in place. I don't know who's in first place, second place, third place. I can't even see who's passing each other. All I see is a road in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like taking a ride around the block. What's the difference? I can see that every time I want. You know, so. Yeah,
but look, again, some people just really like being on board, like from the very start of the race.
On board as a flash. You know what I mean? Like, okay, look at this corner, then flash back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, I'll be very honest with you, right, Joe? There was a Formula One driver called Roman Grosjean. I think he's in IndyCar now, right? Roman Grosjean was guaranteed to have a fucking crash on turn one every time, right? You want a bit of entertainment, you go onto Roman Grosjean's onboard camera, and you were going to be in a crash.
Because he almost died, right? Didn't he almost die?
He did.
Yeah.
But if he actually made it around the first 5 or 6 bends without a problem or an incident, like you were like watching something that a miracle. You know what I mean? So
it's entertaining.
Yeah, but it was entertaining because you knew this fella was going to crash. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's one of those things. Like, give the fans the opportunity to watch what they want to watch. Like, if they want to get on board with their favorite rider, great. If they want to go watch the live feed, great. Right. If the live feed is boring, they want to watch the battle channel. All of these things. Like, there is a whole world out there to be explored. Let's just call it.
I just thought about something. This is kind of off topic, but that crash he had was the same crash that Senna had, but there are different tracks. It was the same one. He went into the guardrail, and
no, it's very different. Very different. Yeah, very different.
It looked similar, but his was
Senna's crash. Like, I don't know the particulars of what went on, but they say that Senna's steering failed.
Fatigue.
And he hit the wall, but when he glanced off the wall, and they say the tire came up and hit him straight in the head.
Oh,
what happened for Grosjean was that he lost the car and he went into the guardrail, but when he went into the guardrail, the car pierced through the guardrail, but half of the car hit one of the uprights behind the guardrail, and then the car split in two. Right, and exploded into fire. But what happened with the halo system, which undoubtedly saved his life, trapped the car in the guardrail. So he had to try and get himself out. And look, he's very lucky to be alive. I was watching it live. Actually, no, it wasn't on the Roman Grosjean camera at the time of it happening, but I was watching it live, and you could see it, like, it just boom, and like I've never seen a car explode in years, like, you know what I mean, like that. But yeah,
I thought he was gone because he was in there for so long. I was like, oh man, they need to turn this off. This is bad.
But it just shows you the Joe, and it's something that we don't ever really talk about.
I don't watch Formula One. Is that when he hit the guardrail and the thing did catch on fire?
Yeah.
He had to jump over the guardrail and it was on fire.
No, he had to get out. When he was getting out of the car has a halo system, so he had to squeeze between the thing, the barrier and the halo to get himself out. And can you imagine now in that fucking heat and pressure and whatever? He was amazing. But it is a testament to the safety equipment, and it's something, lads, we don't actually talk about. And it's something I do want to talk about, maybe someday, but always buy genuine safety equipment.
Oh, God, yes.
You know, like,
no,
don't go. Don't. Yeah, you might look cool. I would prefer to be in plain black leathers and look like a dickhead than be out in a brand but it was genuine leathers that was going to save my life, rather than to be out in some fucking really nice looking stuff made in a fucking sweatshop in China, looking great, and fucking as soon as you hit the ground, all the seams rip apart, and you're just like a fucking cheese grater.
Yeah,
it's the same with helmets. I see people going away and they're buying $100 helmet, right, and they're driving at 200 miles an hour, right, and you're just like,
if I give you a helmet, or I'm sure you other guys too, if I give you a helmet recommendation or a leather, it's tried and true, or gloves. I mean, that's like somebody say Heroic. You didn't even hear about them because they're a small company in New York, but their stuff is 120 miles an hour on the gloves, and they pull up and they look okay. I like to shit themselves, and that stuff's known around here for being indestructible.
That's the most important. The helmet, if anything, the helmet.
And the helmet, yeah. I get Next helmets, Next from Portugal. They're just like a ride. Half price.
There's two things that I'll never scrimp. Well, three really, but two things I never scrimp on. One is the helmet, and I would say this just to anyone: always buy the maximum that you can afford. Yeah. If you can't ride your bike for a week because you've no jacket, or a month because you're buying a good helmet, that just makes sense, right?
Right, that adds up.
It right. Your jacket and your leathers and pants, But the other thing that I really want people to start looking at is the airbag technology.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
I had a version 1 Alpine Stars vest.
I can't even get one. I can't buy them.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you one. No problem.
You ain't getting one for me. They're too big. They don't make it.
They do.
Okay.
They fucking do.
He said there's no excuse. That's not an excuse.
Yeah. I'll get you one. I'll get you one. Don't you worry. I'll get you one.
I want to see that.
You got to wear it, though. If he gets it, you got to wear it.
Oh, man, we got to fucking knock you over and you have to puff up like a fucking Michelin, man. But no, for like the airbag technology is just something brilliant. It is. And I've had the experience of the airbag going off. And yes, you absolutely shit yourself with fright because you're all compressed.
Yeah.
But again, it's just about making sensible choices. You know, you can go away and you can buy the vest. The vest, I think, the vest start at like $600. Not expensive.
Not bad. That went down.
It's not expensive.
No.
You know, yes, it's expensive if you don't have $600, but you know, there's plenty of fellas out there custom painting their fucking bikes and spending $5,000 on a custom paint job.
Yes.
And then they're
God forbid carbon fiber. They'll go out and get carbon fiber, which it has to be replaced, by the way, folks. Remember, carbon fiber is shelf life.
Remember, they go and they buy expensive carbon or paint thing, and then they ride around in Alibaba fucking helmets and leathers. You're asking for the fucking graveyard, kid. You're fucking asking for it. So
they look like the Terminator. What's that guy with the long?
The Predator.
Predator. They do it around looking like the Predator.
Got the mohawk.
Yeah. And look, like I get it. There's sometimes you want to look cool.
You can't look cool.
Great.
I'm sorry, you look a moron.
Well, some people feel they look cool, right? Like
right.
And
some people think they have a dick.
You know, too. Like I've been around bikes years. I won't be afraid to say I crashed everything from a Honda 50 to a 1000cc. Crashed a Honda 50 coming home from a girl's house. I got distracted and crashed straight into the ditch, as you do. At 25 mile an hour, of course, you know. But you know, I learned my lessons, and I really genuinely learned that your gear and stuff like that is the one thing that it's in your favor if you have good gear. Even if you're doing something fucking stupid, which most of us do when we crash, having the right gear gives you the best chance to get out of it somewhat unscathed. You know, like
insurance, like life insurance, almost.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And like that's where airbag technology, and I know a lot of people haven't gone down and they're like, oh, it's only for racing and whatever. There's
people underrate gloves, and they underrate having boots. People don't realize you land on your boot, you fall. How many times have you seen somebody crush or lose a foot because the bike lands on their fucking foot and it crushes it or cuts it off?
I've seen videos. Not even a crash, just having your foot out and it hits something and then it's gone. Now you wearing tennis shoes or sneakers, whatever, and your foot gets crushed.
Yep.
So
just dress properly when you're going out on your bike, and
I don't. Guys, you want to hear one? A friend of my brother's gets a bike. It was an FC 600. Remember those? I'm going way back, like 20 some years, 30 years. And he wants to see somebody ride with their knee down. And my brother goes, "Yeah, he does that shit all the time." And I'm like, "I don't know, it's somebody else's bike." He goes, "Oh, go ahead, do it." I go out, I jump on the bike. I'm not even paying attention. And there's in a suburban neighborhood. I come up and I clip my knee on the curb. It has a regular curb, like not a race curb, but a curb, and it clips it enough to rip the leathers. But I feel that, right? I'm like, oh shit! I can feel my legs starting to swell up. Now, problem is, it's 4th of July weekend. Everybody and their mother is out with a cooking in their front yard. In the things, there has to be around the block 200 people, in their things. I would go around, rip my fucking pants off in the middle there, and I didn't have underwear because it was bare ass. I was trying to get because I was like, boom, because I didn't want the things to stick on my leathers to stick on my legs, right? Because my one leg is puffed up. I'm like, hi folks, how you doing? Just hanging out for the weekend. I grabbed the thing, put it on my balls. I'm like, thank you, bye. And I'm limping into the house. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So, talk about showing off for the neighbors to see.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Revit do an airbag system, Jakey Poo, 4XL.
4XL ain't big enough.
How much?
That one is just about $600. You can get. One sec, no.
That's to be 6.
6XL.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the expensive one at the moment now, for example, the Tech Air 7 airbag system, right, which does your coccyx as well, right?
Yeah.
That's like $950, right?
But
you
not the price.
Huh?
It's not meant to me. It's not the price. You know, I have my leathers up here, which are phenomenal, super duper leathers.
I'll write to them and see if we can get you one.
Okay.
Because I think it's for everyone.
That goes underneath your leathers, though, right?
Goes underneath your leathers, and like you can get one here. It's called the Smart Jacket. It's the Dainese version, right? But it's like a vest, right?
Like a vest that goes over it to make it lightweight.
It goes under your jacket. So if you can remember that,
wear that as a jacket and then put the.
Yeah, you can technically wear that as a jacket if you want to, but
here's my problem. And what about pants? Can I put the pants over it so they have like a lightweight pants to go over top of it?
Oh yeah. Like it's a vest. So like just think of it like you're wearing like a jumper, and then you wear a light textile jacket or whatnot, or your leather jacket, whatever you want to do, over that, and then it puffs up inside in your jacket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that vest is really, really cheap. It's like $499.
That's not bad.
No, to me, it's not the money. I'm the guy that bought an extra hub, okay, an extra titanium hub for an extra one for my MV, okay. It was $600, so it was to put it on the shelf just in case.
Oh yeah, I get it. Like, but you know, a lot of people, like a lot of my friends around here, I ask them, "Do you ever get an airbag for your bike or your airbag jacket?" No time for it, never. Oh, you know, sort of thing. And then they crashed, and you're like, "Did you get an airbag jacket?" It's totally, and like it's very, very simple, right? You buy if you think about buying your jackets and whatnot, right? There, of course, the manufacturers are saying, "Oh, you need to buy this type of jacket," right? All you need to do is go one size up.
You can get Well, you can go to get the Hellite jackets too. The ones that are just air. You see those?
Yeah.
Then like $500, $600.
Yeah.
And they go over everything.
Yeah. But look, it's definitely something I really do wish people would genuinely look at. Because look, we see it in the racing. A lot of the riders get away with it. It saves your collarbone quite a lot as well, and your life. Do you know what I mean? But your collarbone in racing is protected. If you buy the street version of the Alpine Stars one, it saves you from, or it goes off if you're rear-ended.
Okay.
Which is every biker's worst nightmare, is when you're stuck in traffic, that dickhead that will hit you from behind. And I go, I didn't see you.
Split lanes.
So yeah, look, a couple of €100 or dollars, save your life, help you out and whatnot. And of course, look, like buy the best you can afford. Do you know what I mean?
And when you say that, by the way, I always push the Next helmets because they're handmade in Portugal. They're direct. They're just like they make them like a Rise. Their specs are, they say we do exactly what a Rai does. They're not Chinese. They're Portugal, handmade, and they're MotoGP rated. You know, the best rating is now the MotoGP rating. You heard that for the helmets?
Well, it's not the MotoGP. There's helmets.
Well, it has all the ratings and the MotoGP helmet, right?
Yeah.
And I got it for, guess what? I got it for a couple $100. You know, you look for sales, right? And it's carbon fiber, weighs all of 2.5 pounds.
I think there's I think a helmet is something that is very very personal to someone, right? And how I actually call it is helmets are like golf clubs. You know, if you look at, they say with golf clubs, if you like the look of the club that you're played with, you look forward to playing and you'll play better. And a helmet is the same sort of thing as like, if you like the look of a helmet, you're going to be interested in buying it because you're buying the look of the helmet, right?
Right.
One of the things that I always suggest people to do is to look at Sharp when they're buying a helmet, and you will be frightened to death. Sharp is an independent body in the UK, part of the UK government, that rates helmets. They have a standard test that they put all helmets through. Yeah. And they then rate it on stars. And I'm not saying that this is right. I'm not saying this is wrong. But what I'm saying is that this is a data source to help you to make an informed decision on what you're buying.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It gives.
But I heard Sharp's is the worst one. The worst one in the world.
No, not from my understanding. No.
And Next has Sharp rating too. They have the Sharp rating too,
But no, the Sharp rating, they don't give out a rating. A Sharp rating isn't a thing.
Let's put it this way: Sharp gave it a great rating. They do give ratings.
Next, yeah. I'm looking at the Next helmets here on it. Yeah, the Next XG1000R is 4-star helmet, 229 pounds.
Oh,
and it just shows you, and it's just interesting just to have a look at where they say it's a good helmet, where they say it's not a bad helmet, and down to what they do is they run tests on it. So, for example, that helmet that I called out there for the Next helmet, impact speed of 6 meters per second, all green. Impact meter of 7.5, all green. Impact speed of 8.5 meters per second, green and some amber. Do you know what I mean?
And they fit like a glove as long as, say you're a medium, you buy a large. If you're a large, buy an extra large. For some reason, every one of them is off by one.
Yeah.
One thing. I don't know. Yeah. Portuguese people have
European standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to big up the American egos.
You know, you guys do that with condoms.
When we marked them all as small.
Yeah. They're trying to say we have big heads. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The Europeans, CB, the condoms, they always say everything's large, extra large. You know what I mean? In Europe, they don't have any smalls. They're normals. You know what I mean?
Say no smalls. We don't do.
I figure 2 foot.
That's it. Yeah.
2 foot. All condoms are 2 foot long.
Yeah. You don't have condoms for the size of a camel, do you?
Walk in and ask that.
That's it. But look, so more, I suppose. Look, buy the best gear you can, I suppose, is the thing. We have the test now again coming up. What day is the test? I will be covering it, but what day is the test again? Jesus Christ. I was only looking at it this morning because I was like, I need to obviously try and find some time during the working day to get those done.
I see Thailand on here. Thailand.
So we have Thailand coming up on Shakedown test, the 12th and the 13th. So what's that? Wednesday, Thursday this week? Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, 12. No, it's only a 2-day test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only a 2-day test, 12 and 13. And then 18 to 20 is the Moto 2, Moto 3 test in Jerez. And then the 28th of February is the first race. So it's kind of 2 weeks out, and that's really for homologation and signing everything off.
Then is it sealed after that?
It's sealed at the first race, but it can be checked at any time. You know.
Okay. First race is in Thailand, so March.
Huh?
It says the first race is in Thailand in March 27th. I want to say
February 27th.
February. Okay.
February 28th to the.
Oh,
2nd.
February 28th. That's right.
Yeah.
It says March 2nd is what is that? That's Sunday. That's Sunday.
The Sunday, yeah. 2nd of March, yeah, Sunday. Remember now, CB, there's no 29 or 30 or 31 days in February.
In February, okay.
Every 4 years it's the 29th.
Yeah. So yeah, look, it is kind of exciting. Obviously, Jorge Martin is definitely going to miss the test. And like realistically, in those injuries, okay, they'll probably be 3 weeks old at that stage. He'd probably be okay, but even saying that missing the first race of the season isn't actually as bad as you would think. Do you know what I mean? It's not great, but
I would think it's horrible. Both have the hand
I would prefer to miss the first and the last race. You know,
it's his right hand, correct?
It's his right hand. Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, that's the one that takes the beating too. That's
right-handed. Well, it's not just the right hand; it's the left foot as well. So, so he's
taking a beating on both sides.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like missing the first race and giving himself a couple of extra weeks isn't the worst thing to make sure that he's healed, because you know what happens with these guys, they get on the fucking bike. You know, they take a big slug of adrenaline and then they crash again.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then he's out for fucking longer. So sometimes a bit of patience right now will serve him better for the start of the season. But let's wait and see. Hopefully. Anyway, on that lovely bombshell, we will wrap it up there. It's time to go for a few pints. Maybe play a few darts.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say darts, no, that's throwing darts at each other rather than at a dartboard. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all so fucking drunk.
Okay. It's the mean bar.
The fun part.
It's not a mean bar, but you know, look, you have to, you know, what's that famous saying like from Jackass? If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
Hey, it's the truth.
It's the truth. Anyway, on that bombshell, we'll wrap it up there for this week. We will be back again next week. We may or may not have new guests on, depending if I actually answer my emails. And next week will be the end of testing, and we'll be getting going for the racing that will start on the 28th of February.
Alrighty.
Ciao for now, little cow.
Not for now.